Hi guys, I want to welcome you to my one-on-one drawing class. So as you know, things were not supposed to be that way. But for obvious reason with COVID-19, we decided to move everything online. So the good news for you is that it's not going to change anything about requirement. Most of you in one-on-one, drawing one-on-one are taking that for Gen Ed requirements. So it's going to be the exact same thing. And actually, I think overall, it would be a little easier. And I'll explain why. So this summer class was scheduled to be about a month. And it was scheduled to be every day, Monday, all week. And it was also scheduled to be early in the morning. So you won't have to wake up. You won't have to drive. I mean, you will gonna have to wake up eventually, but you're not gonna have to wake up early and get in your car and drive and find a parking spot and be there. I don't remember, it was like 8:15 or something like that. So that's the good news. I mean, you can wake up, get a cup of coffee or tea or whatever you want and just be ready, look at your computer, be online and see what's going on and do the exercises and assignment. So what I would recommend, I mean, I already posted I've written some guidelines for you guys. But what's really important online is to act like if you were in the studio, in a real brick and mortar class. So obviously you don't have to drive to class and you don't necessarily have to wake up super early, but I would try, since it was scheduled in the morning, I would try to do all my class, all my assignment in the morning. That way, because first of all, you might be done with it, and then it gives me enough time to answer your questions, to post new things, and I think it would work best. If you have any questions at all, you can use my email. My email is plastered everywhere. If you go I use 2 spots on Canvas. That way it's a lot easier for everybody. There's no wandering around looking for stuff. I use grades. That's where your grades will be posted. And depending on how fast or slow we will go, you'll have about 4 to 5 grades, and those grades will be averaged out, and it will be your final grade at the end of the session, the summer session. And I use another spot which is called announcement. Announcement is where I'm gonna post day-to-day stuff. Like I said, PowerPoints with sound, PowerPoints without sound, assignments, Word documents, PDF, homemade videos, YouTube videos, everything you need to know, to look at, to work with. So one spot really, announcement, and then the other one, the second one, grades, for you to keep, current with your grades and know what's going on. So fairly simple. I already posted for you guys the list of supplies. It's going to be pretty straightforward. It's not going to be, I kept that under $20, $20, because I know everybody's on a budget. And because of safety and security reasons and health reasons, I removed charcoal drawing. I mean, usually in a regular brick and mortar session, we are in a studio setting, and I would, at the end of the semester, I would introduce charcoal drawing. And I don't know if you guys know, but charcoal drawing is extremely, I mean, it's very dirty to work with. It's not toxic, but it goes everywhere. So in a studio setting, we are equipped to do that. In your home, you might not be. The second aspect of this is that charcoal has to be sprayed, some kind of light varnish that is called a fixative, and this is toxic. I mean, if you spray 1 time, 2 times, it's not gonna affect you. But in the studio setting, we have a booth, with a strong ventilation, so we do that, safely, properly. So I'm not going to force that upon you, because I don't want you to be exposed to toxic fumes, and it's also highly inflammable. So we're not going to go there. So I removed that part, which usually comes at the end, and instead of using charcoal, we're going to use pencil. That's going to be the only difference. Pencil doesn't have to be spread. It's not toxic. It's not dirty. So it's going to be a lot easier for you. So what do you need to be successful in that class in terms of, excuse me, sometimes I'm losing my words, supplies, sorry. So I listed, you're gonna need 5 pencils. So you can go online and there's no specific brand. I mean, these are pencil, regular pencil, lead pencil. The only thing you want to look at, so sometimes they come in a set and you want to look at the numbers. So if you look on top here, usually they're about the same location, you can really see, but there's like a little ring and there is a number. You're gonna have a number followed by a letter. So the letters you're gonna see are H and B's. So H is hard and B is not hard. It's the opposite of hard, but I don't know why they actually use B, but that's B. So it's very soft. It should be H and S, you know, H hard and S soft. So you're gonna want to get a 2H. We're gonna use 2H for perspective. HB, which is kind of between, you know, obviously soft and hard. It's a common pencil that everybody uses all the time. HB is gonna be used also for perspective. And then we're gonna have a 2B, a 4B, and a 6B. So the higher the number, the softer it's gonna get. And same thing for H. The higher the number, you got like 6H, which is almost like a nail, you know, it's so hard. So we're gonna need 2H and HB to start the class because that's what we're gonna use for perspective. And then we'll use 2B, 4B, and 6B for later during the class, shading, drawing, all that good stuff, since they are softer. You're gonna use a pencil sharpener. I think everybody has one. If you don't, it's like $1.50. You don't need anything fancy, just something to sharpen your pencil with. You're gonna need a ruler, some simple ruler. I mean, 12 inches, you know, or above. You don't want something too small because if it's too small, when you do perspective, you gotta have to move it around constantly. It's not gonna be really comfortable. If you have something too long, too big, it's going to be awkward to work with as well. So, you know, 12 inches is about right. And again, that's $1.50. It doesn't have to be fancy. You're going to use it, you know, you already have it maybe, so no big deal. You're going to use a pencil eraser. I mean, any kind you want. It doesn't really matter. I like the white kind because it seems like it works better. It erases better. It doesn't leave any traces on the paper. And then you're gonna need markers. So I got, you know, Sharpies. These are pretty cheap. This is a fine tip marker. So if you look at this, you know, it's like a little fine little tip. You're gonna use that for inking some of your drawings. And you're gonna have a regular Sharpie like this. You know, this one has a bolder tip. And also I have those kinds. I have 2 of them. You know, a regular one and then a fine tip. But you can get one, I don't have one with me, where it's double tipped. So it's one body and on one side it's fine, you know, and the other one is regular. So again, that's $1.50 or something like that. You can find it everywhere online if you don't want to go out, or, you know, Walmart or whatever. This is pretty cheap as well. The only thing you need to do, since we live in a very dry climate, you want to make sure that every time you use it, you make sure you push hard, and that way it's not going to dry out. And finally, I think that's where the largest expense is. Let me get it. You're gonna need a drawing pad. So that's pretty big. The reason it's big is because, so I posted online the reference. I even you know, put a link where you can find. This is about $15. It's a very good paper. And we need something that large because when we're gonna do 2 perspective assignment, 2 points and 1 point, and you need enough space to use your ruler, move around, and do a drawing. And also for the other type of drawing, it's gonna, you know, that way you have you have enough room. But 1 pad will be enough for the whole class, and you might have paper left over. Okay, so basically this is all, you know, all you're gonna need. You know, like I said, I kept that on the $20. So very easy to remember. I'll post a PowerPoint about my expectation in the class, which is like any other class, meaning in that case, you don't have to show up, but you got to be there. I mean, you got to, wake up and do your assignment and turn things on time. You'll have deadlines. Most of my projects, you'll see, we work on a special set of skills. And, I understand since the 101 class, mostly gen ed, you guys have different experiences of drawing, but we start from ground zero. So again, we're going to have perspective, 1 point, 2 point, drawing, simple shape, breaking down a simple shape. We're going to do some animation, drawing for animation, something fun, I throw in there that still practices the same drawing skill, but it's fun instead of being kind of, and then at the end, we'll do simple exercises of shading and drawing shape and things like that. So it should be fun. The only thing you have to do is to be on the ball. Basically, you have to treat that like if it was a regular class. But again, the good news is that you don't have to drive to class. You don't have to find a parking spot. You just have to show discipline. You have to, the classes in the studio are pretty long usually. They're about 2 hours and 45 minutes. And it can be pretty uncomfortable. The sitting areas in the building are not the best. We have equipment, but it could be. So I usually give a break in the middle of the class for people to kind of walk around, relax, breathe out a little bit. It's much better now in that way that you can be, in your bedroom, in your office or whatever, and you can decide to stop for a little while. Get a coffee, like I said, or anything you want, answer an email. But you gotta want to try to put the time in it. If you don't put time in the process, so maybe let's say 2 hours a day, solid, you won't see any progress, and it's going to show in your drawing. I'll see it. The thing with drawing is that it's not about talking. It's not about finding excuses for ourselves. It's just the drawing is right in front of your eyes. So the way usually I grade things, I don't grade the class since everybody have 20 students, and most likely 20 students will have different experiences prior to that class. Some of you guys might have taken a lot of classes, in high school, middle school. Some of you guys never took any drawing classes at all. And some might have some kind of hobby that they pursue at home, so they have good skills already. So I'm working with everybody, and I'm looking at your individual progress. I'm not grading the class. It's like, think of it as 20 different little classes, or 20 individual classes almost. That's the only way I can make that work, because again, everybody has a different experience, different background. It wouldn't be fair to just, look at the best students and say, okay, that's where you gotta go. Science shows that way, and you practice and you stay patient with yourself. Science shows that it takes about 100 hours to master one specific set of skills. So to be really good in perspective, let's say 1 point, maybe even 2 points, 1%, 2 points, you have to practice solidly 100 hours. And to be a master at anything, science show, because we study the brain the way we learn, that it takes about 9 years. 9 years to be a master, which makes sense. Being a master is not something easy. So, be patient, be on the ball, email, ask questions. So you need to communicate. If you find yourself stuck about, you don't understand something, email. I will try, and I will answer my email from a regular day between, let's say, 8 o'clock to 5 in the evening. After 5 in the evening, you might get an answer the day after, because, I'm a human being. I got to rest, and do other things. But I'll try. Sometimes I do answer them, it depends. But don't expect an answer after 5. It will come most likely the day after, okay? So since we're working in the morning, that leaves you plenty of time to reach out if you have any problems. So that's about it. I hope that everything will be okay, and I know it will. We just have to work together and have, hope and for better days. But it is what it is, and we're going to make it work. Bye.